Well, thanks again for the presentations from the videos. And I would like to welcome our last panelists coming up to the screen with their mics and their camera. And while I'm talking, maybe everybody can figure this out with the technical stuff to log on. In 2015, because our subject is sustainability right now, in 2015, world leaders adopted the UN's 2030 agenda, which included for the first time a new global sustainable development framework, setting 17 sustainable development goals. These goals are the blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all, and they were a call to action for all countries, poor, rich, and middle income, to promote prosperity while protecting the planet. More important than ever, these goals provide also a critical framework now for COVID-19 recovery. How is the natural and organic cosmetics sector contributing to these objectives? How can producers and manufacturers of cosmetics further support the transition towards a more sustainable industry? And what really means sustainable inside and out? Consumers are increasingly conscious of the environment and the social and ethical ramifications of consumption and production. They expect businesses to share their concerns, which means that the industry must commit to a responsible use of resources in development and production across the entire value chains, which gives rise to the whole new level of innovation across all areas of the industry. And indeed, for a number of brands, sustainability has been part of their DNA since their creation, and they greatly contribute to the transition towards use of more sustainable ingredients and materials for the production of natural and organic cosmetics, tools, and devices. I'd like to introduce you now to some of these brands today. Let's welcome to the screen Yeti Solman. She is the managing director of Zollmann Stutenmilch GmbH. She joined the family business and is in charge for the development, production, and marketing of mare's milk products, as you just seen in the video. Just in case you will not see Sarah, she was in the video, but unfortunately, because of a personal emergency, she couldn't be with us today. So just that you know, the natural sponges, if you have B2B, B2B connections later on, she will be present for this, but she can't be with us for the panel. Kelly Dobos is with us. She is a cosmetic chemist with 20 years of expertise in both skincare and color cosmetic formulation. Kelly is a long-standing member of the Society of Cosmetic Chemists in North America, having served also as the Society's president in 2019 and created the Florence E. Wall Award for Women in Cosmetic Science. Jen Harper is with us. She is a founder and CEO of Cheekbone Beauty Cosmetics Incorporated and an award-winning social entrepreneur. Cheekbone Beauty is a digitally native direct-to-consumer brand that is helping Indigenous youth see themselves in a beauty brand while using the concept of life cycle thinking and the brand's ethos and in developing products. And last but not least, our gentleman in the group, we welcome Uwe Broch. He is the Vice President of Credo, responsible for global sales, and in addition to his responsibility for the worldwide distribution, he constantly provides input for the improvement and innovation of Credo products. Currently, he says they are very proud of bringing their Go Green initiative to the US with the help of their Chicago-based distributor to Sally Beauty stores. So now I hope everybody is now logged on and we can start with our panel. I think Yetta was on and just jumped off again. Maybe she can log on again. Oh, there she's coming. Good. So we have everybody on board. Thank you all for taking the time to talk to us about, sustainability, which is so important to all of your companies. In the beginning, we were supposed to have even one woman more on the panel, and I thought that might be just a coincidence. But when looking at the panel, it was that it felt like sustainability was more of a female endeavor, and that was more a conscious choice when females are running the companies. So Uwe, don't get upset, but I would like to explore if that might be the case for a lot of the companies. So Jen, you are your own brand. You are a woman. So did that have to do something with maybe being more conscious about these issues and trying to be sustainable also with your brand?
Well, Not sure because I'm not a man, so I only know my perspective. So I don't have too many insights on that, unfortunately. I feel like for us as a brand, definitely my Anishinaabe or Indigenous roots have played a big, big role in the direction that we've taken Cheekbone Beauty.
Mm. Kelly, what do you feel? Because you're working with various different companies and now with Glacial Bay Clay, what is your perception? Are women, female-run companies more maybe likely to think about sustainability, or is it just maybe a trend?
You know, I think in a lot of ways, women think more, we think about our future generations, especially, women have children and they're thinking long term about the future for their children as well. So I think there's, some tie in there, but I think sustainability is something everyone needs to be thinking about, especially in terms of the, recent climate change report that we've all been hearing about. So it's something for everyone to consider.
Hmm. Yetta, are you online? Can you hear us? Even if we can't see you, can you talk to us via audio?
Yes, I'm online, but I don't know why the camera doesn't work.
Don't worry, we will figure it out. In the meantime, maybe you can just tell us your idea regarding, I mean, you are with your sisters running the company, so you are definitely a female household in charge. How do you feel about sustainability, and does it have an impact maybe being, sort of thinking maybe more from the female side of things regarding also sustainability?
Sustainability is very important for everyone, not only for female. So we live on a farm. We are in nature, and we see the climate change. It's so dry. Then it's raining all the time. So sustainability is so important for everybody. So we have to turn around now and make something else, change something.
Uwe, now, of course, I didn't really, mean that not even, a man running in a certain department, but you are catering to the female audience mainly. Of course, nail and manicure and pedicure are for both men and women and also children. But mainly most of the products cater first to the female market. Do you think your company said, okay, because we're catering more to women, we definitely have to be more sustainable? Or was it ingrown in the brand already from the beginning? You're still muted. Yes, the mic is not on yet. Does it work now?
How it works, yeah. Even if I'm the only male person in this panel, I must consider that this company is driven by women. So our senior owner is a woman, and her daughter is in the 5th generation, and she's just overtaking the company. I myself have 3 daughters in my family, and they always ask me, why the hell are you selling beauty items? But I think I'm quite successful, otherwise I wouldn't be in this position. I think sustainability is nothing only for women or for men, it's for human being as well. And maybe you have heard about the flood catastrophe that we have just faced some couple of weeks ago in Germany. I was not hit personally, but 200 meters away from my house, the catastrophe began, and many people have lost their belongings and their houses. And some kilometers away, somebody also has lost his life. And I must consider that even I have contributed with my behavior in the past for a warming up of the climate. And this is something that women and men are doing both in the same way. So we are all responsible for this world and for the climate, and we have to be responsible for it, independent if it's a woman-driven company or if it's a man-driven company.
Because sustainability is not a term that is really certified or has a certain. Oh, we have an echo. Okay, good. Again, for There's another echo happening, so maybe everybody can turn off their mics if they are not speaking. Sorry for that, but just to make sure that everybody can hear us. Sustainability is not a term that is being certified or has been defined by any particular regulatory authority. So it's a little bit of a problem. How do you see the term sustainability for your brand? And how do you try to convey also this message to your customer to make sure that they understand what really sustainability means to you and what it should mean to them? Kelly, you have worked with many different companies and are now also a chemist at this new company for glacial bed clay. Tell us what is your take on this?
Yeah, I think, coming from a product development perspective, when I first got into the industry, there was a lot of talk about natural cosmetics, right? And there was a real struggle to define what natural means. I still don't think we have a very good definition of, how natural does a product need to be. And I think we're starting to try to get to the defining characteristics of sustainability. And a lot of people talk about things like carbon footprint, and those are great places to start. But I like to look at there's a regulation in the United States that has a bit of a different definition of sustainability that does include the environment, but it also talks about ethical sourcing and practices, because it's not just about the environment, it's also about the people as well. And I think those two are inextricably linked. And we need to think about ethical considerations of sourcing when we talk about the ingredients we use in cosmetic.
Yeti, when we talked before, you told me that you're already thinking about not using any kind of unnecessary packaging also for your products. Can you tell us a little bit more how you try to be sustainable with your products and your company?
Sure. I think, there's some of the trends we've been looking at as far as environmental concerns are related to packaging. It's very top of mind, especially coming out of the pandemic when we first went into lockdowns, when, everything we were getting was coming in plastic packaging, individual, when I would order takeout, everything came with, things wrapped in plastic, and we were ordering a lot of things online, and that comes with a lot of packaging. But we're seeing a trend in the beauty world for waterless products that have sustainability benefits twofold, in reduction in plastic packaging and also reduction in the water that you're shipping around as well. That adds to the carbon footprint. So I think that kind of waterless beauty trend is something we're going to be thinking a lot more about in terms of that reduction in packaging and transportation.
I was trying to also get Yeti involved. So Yeti, are you with us now? And the same question again to you regarding the packaging, because I know that your company is really trying to cut down on those.
Yes, we try to make less packaging. We have a shampoo bar, or we have 2 shampoo bars. We have no liquid shampoo anymore. And our soap is also without packaging, only with paper on it. So we try to make products with less packaging and with organic raw materials. And if it's possible, materials we can produce on our farm or in our region.
Jen, you even have on your website stated that you're trying for a zero waste goal in 2023, which is really ambitious. How far do you think somebody can take as a sustainable brand can take this? And is it really possible to have zero waste?
No, actually, it's not possible. So we call that at our business like our beehive, big, hairy, audacious goal. And it just is for our team to really consider the possibilities, like how far can we go? How innovative can we get as a company in terms of using less of everything? And the definition that we work with at Cheekbone Beauty on sustainability is truly transparency. There's no endpoint to this. This is going to be a continual journey that's going to go on for a really long time. And it is so nuanced. It is not a black and white subject. When it relates to packaging and the raw ingredients themselves, we know that there are some that don't biodegrade as quickly back into ecosystems. So it's really important for a brand to consider that as well. And then again, carbon footprint and people. And so our brand, Cheekbone Beauty, was first based on the concept of sustaining people, which was our indigenous communities. Indigenous communities die by suicide at higher rates than any other group of people in North America. And so for us as a brand, our first layer of sustainability was creating something that would be empowering to them so that we could sustain them for generations. And then we also now add in our Indigenous teachings, which is thinking about what do we do today and how is that impacting the next 7 generations. And it's something that we consider with everything that we do, whether it's through the design, the creative process. We use a system called life cycle thinking or life cycle analysis from the harvesting of a raw ingredient and where and how that's happening to the end of the life of a product, which includes packaging and the raw ingredients.
Yeah. I remember when I talked to Uwe beforehand, that Uwe, you were saying that sustainability is also something that the customer has to embrace, because you said that your products, your devices, your tools for manicure, pedicure are really high quality standard and might be more expensive in the beginning. But if you think about the long term or the longevity of the product, it would be much better for them to buy this. So you were saying that your company is really trying to be sustainable and doing a lot of things, but if the customer is not latching onto this, sometimes your efforts are not being really, let's say, appreciated enough. Again, the mic.
Oh, I know. It's late in Germany. This is the problem that I face. We have a sustainable product made of foamed glass, recycled foamed glass, and the competitive product is completely synthetic material. The difference in price is only 50 cents retail, and our customers are selling millions of this item, and they are afraid to lose pics, meaning they say, well, a big drugstore chain in Germany says, I'm selling 1.2 million pieces of this item. And can you guarantee me that you are doing the same number of sales when we change to your product? It's like preaching to drink water, but they consume wine every day. And this is something that I face in many of my meetings. And the panel 2, I think it was, it's always the discussion of money. And that's something that I do not like very much, because these companies, many of these companies, try to be sustainable and try to dress with a green coat, but their behavior is still focused on money. And our products, as you said, they are sustainable. We produce no waste. They are from a quality that you can even give as a heritage to your children, if you treat them in the way that they were designed for.
Everybody mentioned that in the preliminary talk that we had beforehand, that greenwashing was a huge buzzword that everybody was aggravated about. Maybe we just start and go around the room. How do you try to cut through the noise to really show customers that they should be also more educated enough to see what is greenwashing and what is really sustainable, so that you have also a chance? Because if you're trying your best with your brand, still, if you won't have the customer really appreciating all your efforts, what good will it do? So I would like to start with Yeti. Yeti, how do you feel about greenwashing, and how do you try to actually explain to your customers that you're really the raw deal and you're trying really your best to be sustainable?
So we have, with our products, we always have to explain a lot why we make mare's milk, why we milk horses, and so we all the time we show what we do. So we show on our website, we show on our farm. People can come to us. We have to explain. We have to go outside and to tell what we do and to show what we do. So I think everyone can see that it's not greenwashing what we are doing. So, but we have to show it. And there we have to use social media, Facebook, Instagram, and all this stuff.
Mm. Kelly, what is your take on this?
Yeah, I think, you know, we hear a lot about transparency, and I think it's important to be transparent about your supply chain and the materials. And I think something, you know, when I was listening to Jen speak earlier, that, you know, she was talking about these, you know, these BHAGs, these big, hairy, audacious goals. And, you know, part of that transparency is being honest and not greenwashing and saying these are really challenging problems. And you know, we're making steps towards them. They may not be perfect, because I think if you overpromise and underdeliver, consumers are going to be upset about that. So part of that transparency is really being truly honest.
Mm. Jen, you and you're all also having a huge community. Tell us a little bit more how you try to educate your consumers and also trying to convey the message between greenwashing and really trying to be a sustainable brand.
Yeah, this is it's a huge challenge. I believe the customer sometimes hears things totally in a different lens than what we try to tell them. We've seen the results of that happen. But as a company, as a business, we believe in receipts. So, you know, how can we show our community what we're doing? Well, we have receipts. And so that means, it means several different things. One, I guess a lot of the work that we're doing on the topic or the struggle with sustainability, what third-party auditive kinds of organizations have we partnered with in Canada or North America? We're working really hard to become a B Corp organization. And so that is just a third-party organization. I will be perfectly honest, I have challenges with third-party organizations just as much, I think, as a lot of people do in the trust factor. But what it really has done for us as a business is helped us analyze ourselves, our own work. Are we really doing what we're say we're doing? So we've found it to be so super helpful and really part of sort of our guiding light in getting us on the right path. And we don't just work with one, we work with several. So it really helps us show receipts for the work that we're doing.
Right. Uwe, because your company is a very, you know, sort of long-standing traditional one, how do you try to go against these, you know, sort of also fake news about greenwashing and trying to show how your brand is trying to be sustainable?
Well, as Jen already said, you must be transparent. And we have created a special site on the internet, green.credo-solingen.de. And there we show what we do. And we have a transparent company. Everybody who wants to visit us is allowed to join us. And whenever he comes, the doors are open. And that's what we do. And believe it or not, if you are working together with a German big chain, you do not have to have certificates. But if you're making a mistake saying we have no waste or we are using sugarcane instead of oil-based plastic, and you don't do that, you are delisted in a few seconds. And for this reason, this gives us and our consumers the good feeling that the things that we say are practiced.
Mm-hmm. Climate change is, of course, a huge topic, especially during the elections in Canada and also now for the elections that are coming up in Germany. So everybody's thinking about sustainability, but do you think it also needs a push from the political framework to give maybe, I don't know, certain kind of other regulatory, let's say, policies or some kind of other guidelines to help companies to become more sustainable and help those who are already sustainable to be more appreciated? Does it need some kind of political help? Kelly, what's your take on this being in North America, in the US?
You know, I think certainly, you know, political and governmental incentives are helpful, but I think in the case of the beauty industry, our customer is really driving this conversation. They are more educated than ever and are seeking to buy and use products that align with their values. And I think you see that, you know, we've seen the, you know, green beauty, now it's conscious beauty. And, you know, I think the consumer really, as much as, you know, government can incentivize these types of activities, I think really our customer is going to be the one driving companies to make these changes.
Mm. Uwe, what is your opinion? Is it sometimes good to have also political frameworks helping you along to?
Well, of course. I think if the political regulations do not take place, many people will not take any activities to change things. For example, we have installed solar panels on our roof, and we got a contribution from the state for establishing these solar panels. We changed the whole vehicles to hybrid or electric cars. One of the reasons why we did so was due to support from the government in these things. And but these are things, well, we would have done it anyway, but it's good to have a little support. Otherwise, we wouldn't. We have changed the lights in our company. That was a factor of 42,000 euros. And the bonus will be in around about 18 or 19 months when the consumption of electricity is going down due to the LED lights that we have now installed. Political framework is good. Sometimes it's necessary to have a push to say companies must be carbon footprint free in the next 3, 4, 5 years. We are on a good way. We are not yet finished with that, but we are on a good way. And if everybody does like this, I think we will soon have a better world. And everybody can do something. I always tell to my workers, if you leave a room, there is a switch near the door to close to switch off the lights. And this is like nothing, but thinking about 80 million people in Germany, if 1 hour of electric light would be reduced, we are talking about a lot of energy saving, which saves money, but on the other hand, also which will reduce our carbon footprints.
Janice, what do you say regarding political framework? Helpful, yes.
Yeah.
But how should it be constructed?
Sorry, we have certainly benefited from some great organizations that and projects that have been implemented by the Canadian government. We would not have such a robust innovation and R&D department at Cheekbone Beauty for being such a small brand if it wasn't for innovation grants and funding. So we were able to build a lab in-house. We employ full-time chemists. We employ teams of sustainability chemists from other consultants and organizations to help us build out this. And so without those projects and those systems that were implemented by the Canadian government, we certainly wouldn't be on the path that we're on and working on some really incredible innovation when it comes to using waste as raw ingredients. So really exciting.
We are almost out of time, but I think we would like to have a look into the crystal ball, because climate change is not going to be, changed in one day, and not in one probably decade, and not even probably in one generation time. But we need to make an effort, as you all mentioned. But when do you think there's going to be a big step, let's say a deadline or some kind of date on the horizon where you think we might have a cleaner and more sustainable industry? Some kind of time frame, and is the change going to be first in the design, in the packaging, or does it need to have a holistic approach? What is your thinking on this? When will we have, let's say, a certain date at, I don't know, 2040, we will have something that is more sustainable and cleaner than we are doing now? Uwe, what is your, let's say, look into the crystal ball, if you have to make a guess? The mic is not on. Now the mic is still not on.
I think
Okay.
it's a very difficult question, because the things that we are actually facing is nothing that happened in the last 14 days. It's something that has been since I think for Germany, we can say since the end of the Second World War. And you cannot stop this and bring the ball back within 4, 5, 6 years. I think it is absolutely necessary that everybody personally and in the companies tries to make the best that he can do in saving raw materials and saving carbon. That's a necessary thing. I can only hope for my children that this will happen as soon as possible. I don't know if it is 2035, 2040. I hope it will be tomorrow. And as I said, as I mentioned before, everybody has to start to do things that he can personally do. Take your bike and drive to your factory every morning, or switch the light off. These are little things that everybody can personally do. And bringing solar panels or installing new LED lights, well, this is a lot of money, and only if you have the money in the company, and if you're successful, then you can do these things. But everybody can do something and should do something.
Jette, any kind of projection when we might have a more sustainable and cleaner planet?
I think we have to solve the energy problem. When we can solve this problem to make natural energy, then it's okay. But when we don't, if this is not possible in the next year, then we have a big problem. That's the thing.
Kelly, Jen, you're sort of with the short answer. What is your projection? When will we be more sustainable, cleaner?
Speaking as a product development chemist and working with product development chemists, they're already focused on sustainability of their raw materials. So, knowing the timelines, I think in 2 to 5 years, we're going to start seeing a lot of and talking about products specifically on the market that have these kind of claims associated with them.
Jen?
And not to be doom and gloom, but I'm a bit of a realist, and I feel like I cannot question at all. I just don't have enough information on the subject for sure. And I just feel like I just want to be part of doing the right thing to the best of our ability as a brand.
Thank you so much for your insights. First of all, I would like to thank all of our panelists and speakers for their contributions and the presentations. Thanks to all the helping hands visible and behind the scenes for making sure that this event was run smoothly. Also with a snag in the beginning, but we tried our best. Technology is not always perfect, as we've come to understand over the times of COVID. And of course, a big thank you to you all for joining and participating today. Hopefully you enjoyed our discussions, and the discussions can continue if you still have time. We have a networking part coming up where you can still chat with our participants and panelists. So stay on. This is just from my side, a warm thank you to you all. I will hand back to Sarah Wirtz now for some closing remarks. She's again the project manager from the German Chamber of Industry and Commerce. And stay safe, stay healthy, and in this case, stay beautiful inside and out. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Stephanie. I would also like to thank our German and Canadian speakers. Thanks, Margarita. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks to Darren as well for joining today and making this conference and the exchange happen. I hope everybody in the audience enjoyed the conference and that you're leaving with some new thoughts, ideas, and contacts. We will now go into our last networking session. Please come and join us. Bring your coffee or something else. We hope that you connect a little bit more with each other virtually. For those who are already leaving, we would like to thank you for your participation today, and we hope to see you at a future event again. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much.